What doesn't kill you make you more resilient. So even when your world is falling down, you gotta keep ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Oh yeah. Gotta keep ascending. Yeah. Even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gon' keep ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Oh yeah. Gotta keep ascending. Yeah. Even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gon' keep ascending. Her pain is my pain. Her struggle's my struggle.
Happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Cinco de Mayo. I didn't even know it was Cinco de Mayo until one of my friends said something to me, but she didn't bring me no taco or nothing, so I don't appreciate that. But happy Sunday, y'all. Welcome to Believe Radio. Welcome to Ascending with Toni Rochelle, and I am your host, Toni Rochelle. Thank you to everybody that has been supporting this platform this far. It has been a lot of amazing experiences, just getting the love every time I go out into the community, and people call me the Ascending Lady. So I got me a new name, the Ascending Lady. And guess what? I will take it because your girl be ascending every single day, sometimes every single minute. That is just what it is, because this thing called life. Y'all, this thing called life is tough and rough, and it ain't no joke sometimes. And if you know anything about life, you know that when life shows up, sometimes it comes with heartache. Sometimes it brings pain. Sometimes it brings confusion. Sometimes you get mad about life. Sometimes you get tired of just living life. Do you ever just get tired of eating and walking and making decisions and being responsible? And then life just happening whenever it feels like it. Because sometimes when it shows up, it don't have an agenda. It don't make an appointment. It don't even let you know that your world is about to be rocked. You know what I'm talking about? So if you've never tuned into this platform before, and you've been having life show up for you, and you've been feeling like, man, life is lifing for me. Is life happening to anybody else? Does anybody else understand what I'm going through? Tune into this platform, because you get to hear real life storytelling. You get to hear real life story events. These are real people that's actually going through life and decided. Because that's the thing. This called life. We get to decide how we want to show up, who we want to hang around with, what we want to eat, how we want to be. If we want to keep going, even when life shows up and kicks us in the butt, we get to make the choice to say, you know what? I ain't feeling you, life. I ain't feeling you, situation. I ain't feeling you, person, thing. I'm mad because the door closed. But you get to make a choice and say, you know what? I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep pushing through. I'm going to figure it out. Even though it don't feel right, it don't seem right, even though it ain't fair. Because y'all know life is not fair. Don't you wish you could just pick and choose the things that happen to you, or pick and choose the places you want to go, or the people that you want to be in your life and that you don't want to be in your life? Well, guess what? You get to make a choice, y'all. So anyway, that's what this platform is about. This platform is ascending through the struggle, the pain, the heartache, the thing that we call life. And also just not staying in that situation, not staying stagnant. Maybe this year you feel like you work for the company, but next year you want to own the building. Maybe you feel like it's time for you to upgrade on that house. You've been having that house for 10 years, and now you're ready to build on that house. Now you're ready to get something bigger. That's what ascending is. Reaching the ladder, climbing up the mountain. That's what it is. So today, y'all, we're going to have a good time like we always do. I got a guest in the building, and y'all know what I like to do. I like to get in people's business, especially when they say yes. Yes, Toni. Yes, Toni, you can get in my business. So I'm excited. I have a beautiful lady here that I met a couple of months ago. Let's see. No, it's been more than a couple of months. It was December? And how many of y'all know about connection and energy? Like sometimes when you just meet somebody or you see somebody and y'all just have that divine connection. It's like, can we be friends? Can I know you? Like, what are you about? Like, you just feel that warm, caring spirit. And that's what this next guest done to me. Like, we literally like just looked at each other and we was just like, well, maybe it was more me. It may not have been her. She can tell her side of the story. I don't know, but I'm gonna tell my side of the story before she get on the mic. But I know when I looked at her and she was actually with a friend too. And I fell in love with her and her friend. And I was like, let's take pictures. Let's talk. What's your name? What y'all about? And now I get the pleasure to sit here and get in her business and get to know her on a more personal level. So no more time to pass by. Let me bring her to the stage. My girl, my friend, Miss Sharne. How you doing, girl?
Hello. Oh my God. That intro was like everything. I was like, oh my God. Is she talking about me?
You.
Thank you so much for having me, first of all, because
Thank you for saying yes.
girl, listen, when the new year hit, I said I was out here on God.
Talk about it.
And literally,
She already starting out deep.
and
y'all.
literally, that's what you saw. You saw God. And I saw God in you too, though.
I believe
You
it.
know what I'm saying? And
I
it
believe
was
it.
amazing. And there is a such thing as when you meet someone for the first time and you know if they have good intentions or if they have bad intentions.
It used to be a point in time in my life where I didn't know though.
That's true.
And I don't know if it was because I wasn't really paying attention or I just wanted to do what I wanted to do or I was just ignoring it. But now it really is like that's the intention.
You know what I think it took is to get to know yourself and love yourself. And when you know who you are within, then you'll know what's not yours and what's not for you.
Come on now, or we're already getting in. She's gonna let me get in her business.
When we first met, this is how it was. She's like, I'm like, girl, listen, I'm here for whatever you're here for. Let's do it. And she was like, it's our year, sis. I said, you know what? I told God I was out here. And God, like, she came to me, and then it's just been one after a blessing after a blessing
It
after
really
a blessing.
has.
And I'm just like, that's all I keep saying is I'm literally out here on God. And if you know what that feels like, it's scary. But then when what you're praying for and what you're asking for literally shows up and is like, hey, girl.
No, for real.
You know,
I had an epiphany just last week and I was just thinking about like all the things that I've been praying about and just like all the things that I've been asking for. Because I've been praying for a lot of people lately because just a lot of people been going through life.
Yeah.
But just reflecting on like my prayers that I've been asking for myself. And I started like kind of, I don't know if you like pray for stuff and then you realize it happened. And then like, girl, 10 more things happen, and then you like, oh, I did ask for that thing, and he gave it to me.
Taking notes.
Yeah, I do,
because that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I fell off of that, but I need to start doing that
because sometimes we keep asking for the same stuff over and over and over, and God is like, but I literally gave you that.
Yeah.
And so what else why don't you see it? Yeah. But again, that goes with loving yourself and knowing what it is that you want and what path you're choosing to go down, right? Absolutely. Not even down, what path you're choosing. And you stick to that and you continue to walk in that and like just believe.
Yes,
like definitely. Literally just believe. So
just believe.
Write it
like
down.
Believe radio.
Yes, just believe. Write it down because your blessings are always anything you can literally have. Anything that you believe you can have. If you believe you can't have anything, you won't have anything. Yeah. But if you believe you can have everything and everything is open to you, what?
Yeah.
That's a whole, what? Do you know how far you could go with that?
My prayer changed because I don't want everything no more.
No.
I used to want
you have
everything.
To be clear. Be clear.
I don't want everything
be
now.
clear. Be clear.
I changed my mind, Lord. Let me erase it.
And that's okay though.
Don't use a pen when you write down your prayers, y'all.
Use a pencil. I don't know. I thought I wanted it, but you know what? That's not for me.
And it's okay to change your mind.
It is absolutely okay to wake up and be like, you know what? This isn't what I thought I wanted. And you make a change. Like you're not locked into whatever your initial thoughts are.
Yeah.
And you need to like open your mind up to other things because not everything is for everybody.
Yeah.
What's for you is for you.
And it's about timing.
Oh God.
Yeah.
The timing is real. Because if you would have asked me 2 years ago to come on here and talk about anything, I would be like, you know what, friend? You know what? Let's just keep it between us because life gets ugly and I'm just not in that space to talk about that. I'm a very private person and I'm pretty select with who I talk to about things with me because
I understand.
I've opened up to people before and something where I was vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
And then it comes up and it was like, whoa, I said that in a space of vulnerable, like, whoa. So you could see how low people could stoop to throw you off of what it is that you're working on or the direction that you're going. So like I've learned that if it's something I want to share, it's something I've already healed from. And no matter what you say to me, I've already healed from it. And that just shows who you are, that you would say that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm like?
Yeah.
When I say the healing journey has been real, it's been a lot of tears, a whole lot of snot, laughter, crying, all the emotions. It's been real. But you know what? It's also beautiful too, because sometimes you need to lose control of things to gain control. You know,
that's that descending, ascending.
Okay.
Ascending, descending. Because in order to ascend, you have to descend. Yeah. In order to descend, you have to ascend. It's the ebbs and flows. So yeah,
you can't go up if you've never been down.
And if since we already getting into it, I haven't even asked the question yet.
My bad. This is her show.
We're gonna have to do a part
2. I will be back.
We need an hour.
Let's talk about it.
We just need an hour just to catch up, talk first as girlfriends. Okay, sorry, we forgot we was on live. My bad, y'all. I already know this is about to be good because it's already good. It's already great. Thank you, Holy Spirit.
Okay.
So, sis, friend, when you think about the word ascending, because I don't know if you ever heard of the word ascending before you met Toni Rochelle, and it's okay if you did because I didn't invent the word. Okay. But I'm always curious to know, you know, with my friends, my community, my guests, like when you think of the word ascending, what does that mean to you?
The word ascending for me means to push through an old version or label or anything. You just push through and you keep going up. It makes me think of like shedding skin, right? Yeah. Because you're wrapped up in this body and this image that you're creating and that you want people to see, right?
That's right.
But like sometimes we go through stuff that we hold on to that, where we literally have to step out of that to get to the next level. And so ascending means to push through and keep going and keep moving forward, because you can let certain things hold you right where you're at. It can hold you where you're at or make you go lower.
That's right.
So I think when I see ascending, I just think higher up and moving up. It's like steps.
Yeah.
I think of it as steps.
Yeah.
And that's you got to keep going.
It's absolutely right. I always say that there's not one definition to the word. There's many different definitions, and I love to always hear people's perspective. So thank you for that. So when you think of the word ascending and you think about it with your own life, with the title, Life After Separation.
Girl.
Woo!
And like when we say separation, that means so many things though.
Talk about it.
Because I could be separating, like I said, from an old version of myself, friendships, circles, marriage, business partners, like any decision that you make, you still have to keep going after you make that decision. Right. And so for me, I made a decision to stick with my dream. Like I'm literally living my dream right now. Like I want to let you know, like like my mom reminded me, like, you know,
shout out to your mommy. I love
Mom,
your mommy.
I know you listening. I know you over there with a glass of wine or something. I want to shout out to my parents, because my parents are freaking amazing, because if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't have gone as far in life. Shout out to the parents.
Shout out to the parents.
You know, I love them. So like my mom reminded me, she was like, I remember when you were like 6 or 7 and you said, I want to do the makeup for the stars. I want to move to LA and I want to work with the stars and celebrities and dress them and make them pretty and do all the things, right? And I was like, really? She was like, you've always been into beauty. Like that's just been your thing. But being younger, it was like because I like makeup.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when you're young, you're just like, ooh, makeup, glitter, lipstick, all the things. But like my mom saw something in me way back then,
Mhm.
right? Fast forward to today, I have a business. I have been an independent business owner for the past 11 years. I have not worked for anybody but myself, and my boss is hard.
Inspiration.
Look, and my boss is me. So I'm very, very, very hard on myself sometimes.
Yeah.
But that also goes with the ascending because
Mhm.
it's like,
No,
give
that's
yourself
awesome.
grace.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen overnight. You got to give yourself time. So with separation, I feel as though I got my start when I was probably at, I'm trying to think how deep and how far I want to take this because
Take
it was
deep. Take it deep. Somebody needs to hear it. Somebody needs to hear it. Somebody needs to hear it.
So
No
I
pressure.
no. I just look back at, you know, how my mom reminded me what my dream was.
Yeah.
And to this day, I'm still following the same dream that I used to draw pictures and write out who's going to, everybody. I just want to let you know, all my friends and family, I've always wrote you down in my business plan, but I didn't know if you wanted to work for me when I was 17 years old. I was like, she's going to do this and she's going to do that. It was that real for me.
I love that.
It was that real. Like I would draw floor plans of what I wanted my salon to look like.
And that's exactly why you have 11 years in the game.
So, you know, I'm saying that to say I've always held on to my dream.
Mhm.
But there was a point in life where I kind of forgot about that.
Who taught you how to dream?
You know what? I don't know. I just came like this.
Okay.
Like being a young kid, I used to dream a lot. I have a really great imagination. And then, but my dreams were so real that like only person I talked to was my mom. I told my mom everything.
Mhm.
And then it was just like when things happen that I dreamt about and just, you know what? I don't know what it is. I was just born this way.
Okay.
And I've always been very, very strong-minded. Sometimes it works for you and sometimes it works against you. It can come up as are you being smart?
Are you born in October?
No. I'm a Taurus. It was just my birthday.
Oh,
You know, I'm
bullhead.
just really strong-minded like that. But I think that's my strength though.
Yeah. If you
Because
know how to use it.
yes,
Mhm.
because people can detour you from what it is that you really truly want to do because it fits into their plan.
Yes.
And like anything that comes at my way, I'm gonna thug it out. I'm gonna work that out. I had my son when I was 19 years old.
Very young.
Okay.
Mhm.
And my mom was just like, oh my God, you have your whole life ahead of you. Like,
Yeah.
what are you going to do? In my mind, I was like, oh, I'm finna thug this out. Like, this is not going to stop me. I was working. I was in beauty school. I had 2 jobs. I was like, you know what? Y'all aren't going to look at me as though this is like a weakness. This is really going to turn up a whole nother level for me.
Mhm.
And I literally did just that. Like my son was right there along. Like if it was no kids invited,
Yeah.
I wasn't showing up.
Yeah.
You know,
I know what that feel
I
like.
missed. I can honestly say I didn't miss anything, but I felt like I missed out because I'm like, oh man, I got the kids. But you know what? It's okay. We all have kids.
Yeah.
We all have kids and they need to see their parents in action. They need to see what mommy and
Absolutely.
daddy does because they don't understand. They think everything is just naturally just given to them.
Oh, I be dragging Talia and Tatum everywhere I go.
I'm just,
I be like, I'm like you. You want to hire me? Just so you know, my first job is a mother,
okay.
a single mother.
They might be here, but
They
you know
might
what?
be here.
They're well behaved.
Yeah.
We already had the talk in the car.
Don't worry about that part. They accustomed to this. Shout out to all the producers, directors,
Okay.
everyone that has ever hired single mothers and let you bring your babies.
First of all,
with you.
shout out to all the moms.
It's
because
Mother's Day week.
yes, it is coming up. Shout out to the moms, the single moms, like
The grandmas, the single dads that's playing mom.
Anybody who has kids, I want to shout out to you because you know that sometimes things can just get thrown off and it can throw your everything off.
But also shout out to the people that show respect to the parents.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Because, you know, it was a time where people didn't care if you had parents. Like, we don't care. We're not working with you. We're not doing that. But like you said, we all have a family. We all have kids and everything. So people are more understanding.
Yeah.
So I love that you have this tenacity about you, because that's what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like it was something that was, you know, birthed in you, that was you had when you got here, and the Lord put favor in you to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
And some of us don't have nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when would you say that first determination came for you, where you knew who you was? Because I heard you say a couple of times, you know, knowing who you are.
Mm-hmm. So I want to say, because I keep getting to know the new version of me all the time.
I love that.
And the first time I knew who I was is when my son was just like, Mom, and I want to say he was little, like 3 or 4. And that was like at the peak of me just making a way for me and him. And he was just like, Mommy, you work so hard and I see everything that you give to me. And I just want to let you know that I love you. So to hear that from your child, and there's nights when you're like up crying, like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Like literally, I remember when he was a baby and I'm like, I could not afford to buy him milk. So like, you know, it's like 3 scoops to the water. I was like, okay, we're going to do 1.5 scoop.
I'm sorry. I don't know about that. Breastfed.
My oldest, I couldn't. And see, I was hard on myself about that too. Like he was born a month early and I was like forcing myself to produce milk because I'm like, this is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You have to breastfeed. Like it naturally happened.
Yeah.
But then I was putting myself under so much pressure that I was not able to even produce, let alone provide the nutrients for him.
Yeah.
So, but I'm saying that to say, in that time in my life, that was when I was getting to know myself. Like I was a whole new, mind you, being 19, you still don't know yourself.
You a baby.
You're a baby. I look at my 19-year-old right now and I'm just like, oh my God, you really are still a kid.
Oh, honey, I was dumb, stupid,
yes,
naive.
But my mindset told me, no, you're not normal.
Yeah.
You're grown out here. You're grown. And you made a grown decision and you need to be a grown up.
There it is.
And that is exactly what I did. Is like, yeah, okay. You know what I'm like? I had to tell myself that.
Well, telling yourself that, does that have to do with the foundation of how you was raised?
I think so.
Are you the oldest?
I'm the oldest. Okay. My mom was single when I was younger. Okay. So I saw my mom work hard, go to school, get her degree, do all these things. Yeah. And it wasn't into my adult life where I was like, that woman is Superman. Because we didn't feel any of that. We didn't feel any of that. And then I go through things. I'm like, that's crazy. Yeah. And I call my mom because I have those moments where I remember she did something and I'm in that same spot. And I'm like, Mom, how did you? Because I feel a little lost. I feel like I'm not momming right. I'm not doing something right. And my mom's like, you're doing great. You're doing great. Maybe, it's something that you might want to look within yourself to see what's making you feel that way. But like on the outside, it looks like you're momming right. These kids look great. They're smart. They're respectable. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're loving. Like, so what makes you feel like you're lacking? Again, I am my worst critic. We are our own worst critics sometimes. And I had to push through that. I had to literally separate myself from that type of mentality to make me feel where, that makes me feel like I'm lacking in some area.
What was the specific things that you did to separate yourself from that? Because we can all say, we can wish and pray and just want to be different or want to stop an addiction or and when I say an addiction, I mean like our behavior. I mean like how we dress or who we around or what we're eating or whatever that may be.
So it all starts as a thought. For me, I always sit, I meditate, and I think about what it is that I want, right? And I'll write it down.
I can't stand meditating.
No, but see, I used to do that when I was
meditate.
younger, and I didn't know that that was what I was doing. I used to listen to atmosphere music. Like, I love the sound of nature. I love water. Like, and I used to lay and do that because I do get anxiety. Like, and that was the thing that like calmed my thoughts and my nerves, to calm me down, to get to a point where I could make a decision, because I have so many thoughts that are going on in my head. Right. Yeah. So for me, I'll write stuff. I write a lot. I wrote a lot in my journals growing up. Like, I have books and books and books and books and books that I wrote. I would write poetry. I would write letters to whoever hurt me. I would write, because my mom told me, like, do not hold that. Yeah. Because if you hold it, it's going to come out like when you least expect it. So you have to learn when to handle this stuff so you can move on. So
can you remember a time when something actually did come out because you was holding on to it for so long?
Oh my gosh.
If you care to share.
Okay. So there was an incident like 2 years ago, and it happened with my daughter, and she was pretty much mauled by a dog. So it wasn't on my watch, and she had 17 stitches in her head, 6 in her ear, scrapes on her back. And for me, showing up and seeing my baby like that, I literally checked out into mom mode, where I'm like, okay, I got to show her that I'm okay, so she could get through this. Right. Yeah. And be strong for her, because this is serious. Right.
Absolutely.
So let's say this happened in March. Okay. It didn't hit me until the end of April. And I was depressed for 2 weeks straight, crying. Like, why? It had nothing to do with me. I just didn't deal with my feelings in that moment, address the issue that I needed to address them, because I had to go through like her healing process to help her. So I learned from that point on, like, you definitely, because I had a lot going on in life, just business and everything. But when it's your kids, it drastically affected me. Anything else, like, I feel like I'm able to push through. I may kind of tune out and close it off. Like, I, especially like during like my separation of my marriage, like that was one thing where I was just like, you know what? I just went through the motions of the separation part, but I didn't fully heal right then and there. I waited until all the ugly was out and then addressed it.
Now, was that something intentionally that you think you did? Did you suppress those feelings on purpose, or you just was in survival mechanism?
I think it was just in survival mode, because you just got to keep, like, I felt like, no, I just have to keep going because I'm working on something right now. And it's like, I did what I needed to do, made sure my kids was good, because not only was I dealing with one child, but my other child saw it. So I'm like, helping her with her thing, helping him with his thing, helping my other, like, helping everybody understand. And I sacrificed my feelings in order to make sure that they were okay in that situation, because that was very like, for me, even sometimes still, like, it'll trigger.
Now, the way that I feel, this is just my perspective, that a lot of times when when things like that happen, we don't really have that type of space.
Right.
Well, I don't feel like I have that space right then and there to deal with those particular issues. So was that something like for you, or you just kept it going, you kept it pushing?
So I think what I did is I just put it to the side. Like, I think anything, I scale it and see if it's something, is this going to knock me off of what I'm focused on right now? Or is it going to feed towards the direction that I'm going into? And if I feel in that very moment that this is going to take me out and I'm going to need some time to unpack this, I'll wait until I have time to unpack it in a safe place with someone that I feel comfortable with. I have a therapist, I have people that I could talk to about it, because if I talk to the wrong person in the wrong time, it could really push me in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm always making sure, like, okay, take a step back. Let's analyze this. Should we talk about this right now? Only person I could talk to something instantly is my sister.
Okay.
Instant, like no matter what it is,
Yeah.
whether I feel like it's going to knock me off or not. That's like my express, like, okay, we need to get this out the way so we could go to the next step. But when it's big things that it takes time, yeah, like I'll deal with it in bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Bits and pieces as like little bites, like, okay, analyze that. Okay, I did this. Okay, so next time, or how am I feeling right now about it? Like I keep checking with myself. How do I feel about that right now? Okay, it's getting lighter.
Do you really ask yourself that question?
I do, because believe it or not, I'm an introvert.
You be talking to yourself
Sometimes. it's a boardroom in my mind. And
You're an introvert? Really?
Okay, listen. Okay, pause.
You asked about my opinion. I would say you're like, you know how you can be both? You know what I mean? I know that's not how you're supposed to do it, but I can kind of understand why you say that, but I can kind of understand not.
I know.
Maybe we haven't known each other for a year yet, so maybe just my perspective now, maybe you're only an introvert with certain type of people or certain environment.
Okay. So what I'm gonna say is, in my big girl age now, okay, maybe I was an introvert growing up. I very much like to be in my room and listen to music and just vibe out by myself.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I love that. I love it. But now in my big girl age, I can say I know when I want people around me and when I don't want people around me, because I consider myself, I feel other people's energy, what they're giving off. Like I have to prepare for things. Like I had to prepare to come here. I had to prepare the big events that we met each other at. Like I literally take days ahead to make sure that I'm mentally prepared for that, because I want to show up as myself 100%. Yeah. Showing up as yourself, that's when you really receive some blessings, right? Because girl, if I was introverted at that event that I met you at, we would not be friends right now. We made a friendship the day we met. Yes, when you're adults and you want to have friends, you just straight up be like, you want to be my friend? And it's either a yes or a no.
You ain't even got to circle the
no, nothing. Let me know right now.
Yes or no, because we already know this is where we want to be, and that's it.
We fill in the vibes right now. But
right
I have to do that so I can be able to show up as myself, to be able to receive the blessings that are being presented to me. Because if I was super emotional and in my feelings, I probably would be closed off to a lot of things, because there are other things that I need to deal with and I don't know what's going to come out. But now I know what's going to come out. But I do make sure to this day right now that I address any issue that I have with anybody, anything, if it's not serving my higher purpose, direction that I'm going into. If it doesn't make me happy, if you ask me a question and I feel a little bit irritated about it, then it's probably a no, because that's how much I'm like really paying attention to myself. But then if I really think about it and it's still a no, you know what I'm saying? Like,
by you living your life like this, have you lost a lot of friends, a lot of people?
So I never lose anything.
Okay.
I treat everything as a lesson, as an experience. We only have so much time on this earth together.
That's right.
And like, if our paths change and we're no longer in each other's lives, that's okay. Like, I'm not leaving in a negative space, and you shouldn't either. I've had friends that like, we've been friends for years, but I understand life happens. Yes. And I try to let my friends know, like, I totally get it. Like, if you got to take a step, I never take anything personal. If someone doesn't call me or text me back, I'm not taking it personal as though, oh, they're mad at me. They don't want to talk to me. Like, well, they saw that I called. They saw my text. They saw that. I just showed up where I normally show up. Yeah. And if you decide to show up there too, then we're good. But if not, it's okay.
It just sounds like your foundation is lit, that you just really really put yourself first and you're being very intentional about your life.
But it's because there was a point where I didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I did not do that. There is a such thing as people pleasing.
Yes, it is.
And some people don't even know that they're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're an autopilot and they're just doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So once you wake up to what you're actually doing and that you have control over what you're doing, then you can change it.
Yeah.
Like, you literally can change it. Like, I remember, like,
but change is hard.
it is. I'm a Taurus, girl.
And change.
Set mindsets.
A lot of times when people are thinking about changing, it's really is a process.
Yes.
Because you got to get over the guilt,
Yes.
the shame,
Yep.
and then how do I get started, or
Yeah.
do I got to show up? Like, it's kind of like that situation about church. You know how when you don't go to church for a long time and you want to go back to church, but you're like, I don't even have nothing to wear because I got to wear something specifically. I don't even know what church to go to because I don't belong to a church. Or like, I don't even know, do I even have a Bible?
Right.
You know, all these things of like why I can't move forward to change or go to church or go to this situation.
Those are things that we put in place because it really is that simple to just show up.
Excuses.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you make an excuse, you're going to go with that excuse. But if it's something that you really want to do and you want to show up for it, you'll do that.
Yeah.
Like, it's really like, that's what I realized. It's really that simple to just make a decision and just go with it. And if it didn't work out, it didn't work out, because I've had days where same thing, going to church, kids acting up. Oh my God, we're late. We're going to walk in and the pastor's going to be, oh my God, he's probably, they done singing. But you know what? But you know what? When you show up and the message that is given to you, when you show up, it feels as though that was directly to you. So imagine if you let some shoes hold you back from an answer that you were seeking.
I'm going to tell you about the show up game that we're talking about. Last Saturday, I had my Ascending with Toni Rochelle live show. I was 2 hours late. So many know that I host a lot of events around the Bay Area. I'm always at an event. I'm always involved or something. I've never been late like that in my entire life to any gig. Yeah. And this was my gig. This was my show. Right. I'm the headline. Right. And like everything in me was just like, I don't even want to do it. I want to cancel the show. I don't even want to show up because I'm 2 hours late. Right. And I just felt so bad because I don't believe in wasting people's time. Right. People have to buy tickets to come. That's their time. It's a Saturday. I'm late and you got the nurse to come try to see me and I'm late. Like I was telling myself everything of why don't go. Just cancel it. Everybody will understand. But the other side of me was like, no, show up. Whoever's there, just go. Like even if it's one or two people there, that's your audience. Like you have an obligation. This is your responsibility. This is your platform. Things happen, and it is what it is. And I had to, you know, how you said you be talking to yourself. I was talking to myself too, you know. But no, I had to do that. And when I got there, I still had an audience. When I got there, people were still smiling and wanting to hug me. And anyways, at the end of the show, I had actually seen a familiar friend at the end. And if I would have started on time that day, like I wanted to, I might have not seen that friend. See? So that timing that we're talking about, it's not even your time. It means something. And that friend that I seen, I really needed to see that friend because that friend has some very encouraging words to give me and just made me feel like made my whole week. Right. My whole future week that I didn't even know what was coming, but because he was able to say some things to me that set in my spirit and was able to hold me on these days. And so it was just like that timing be for real.
Timing is everything. Like you think that if you didn't show up, well, imagine not showing up. Because all these things,
beat myself up.
Right. All these things got in the way, but it's like all mental things. Right. Like today, prime example, I prepared a whole other outfit to wear.
Oh, that happens all the time.
My shoe broke
Oh no.
My perfume fell out of the cabinet and shattered glass.
Oh no. The enemy was
And
hating about this conversation.
Right. So, but again, I was able to like, okay, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna find you have a closet full of stuff.
Yes.
Imagine if that was your one outfit, girl. I would have showed up one outfit, broken shoe was another flip flop or something.
And guess what? Ain't nobody even see your whole outfit right now.
Literally, that's what I was saying. I'm like, people aren't. This is not a fashion show.
But it's that mind frame
Yes.
that we do. It's that one thing. You can either let that one thing knock you off your game,
Right.
your plan,
Right.
your destiny, your journey. Because that one thing that somebody said to you,
Mm-hmm.
that one thing that somebody took away from you,
Mm-hmm.
that one thing that you told yourself that you couldn't even do, or how you showing up. Because a lot of times it do be ourselves.
Hello.
But if that one thing stopped you from
your
ascending
greatness is on the
above-
other side.
And I'm talking to myself right now because this is a word for me.
Girl,
This is
listen,
definitely a word for me.
I had notes on what I was gonna talk about, and it was giving me like anxiety.
No, she did, y'all.
And
Because y'all know I don't allow that anyway.
Yeah, no, but you know what's funny? You know what's funny? As I walked out the door, I was like, you know what? I'm talking to Toni, and she's always like, you know what? I'm gonna let God lead me. I'm going to let him lead the conversation. I know it's life after separation, but I feel like separation is so many things. We have to separate ourselves from so many mindsets. We have to separate from getting in our own way sometimes. We have
What did you separate? Sorry, I kicked you. I kicked her, y'all. What did you have to separate from yourself when that separation came? Because I know how it feels to be separated, honey. I was snotting, boogers, all of that. But
man,
when that situation happened, what did you have to separate in order to get through it?
So I had to separate from someone that I felt like I really, truly loved, right? Like loved so much.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like my love for that person was more than what they have for themselves. And I realized I love you more than you love yourself. Like you're doing all these things to yourself and it's affecting me. I'm affected.
Because I love you.
Because I'm deeply affected. Right. So I made a decision that I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put my feelings first. Mm-hmm. Because waking up and crying in the middle of the night and doubting and being afraid, like all that ugly depression and not eating, like all that's ugly.
It's ugly.
But that's not mine though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm like? Those weren't my issues, but because I love that person, I made them my issues. So then I was like, you know what?
We be doing that.
So then I woke up one day and was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not happy.
You was fed up.
I was not happy. Mm-hmm. Like when your kids come to you and say, Mommy, why are you always crying? Mommy, are you happy? And then to have to take a pause when they ask, are you happy? And you just want to break down and cry.
It hurts your heart.
It hurts.
Mm-hmm.
So I told myself I will never put myself in that position to have to hold back my true feelings and emotions to show face. Yeah, mommy's happy. I'm good. I'm happy. Meanwhile, I'm holding back tears. Whole ball in my throat. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie to I'm never gonna do that. If I'm not happy, I will say, you know what, mommy's not feeling it right now. But I put myself in a position where I don't have to say that.
Yeah.
You know,
we
it's
never
a difference.
Want to be vulnerable with our kids.
Yeah.
We still should.
We should, but to a certain extent, because we're setting the tone and setting the example for them. And what I showed my daughter, what I showed my sons is if you're in a situation that is not serving you, it's not making you better, it's actually really pulling you down where you don't even recognize yourself, that's not for you.
It's not for you.
It's not for you. Mm-hmm. Life is not that hard.
Woo!
You know what I'm saying? Like we make it hard, but you literally could make it easy too. if you like cupcakes and cupcakes make you happy,
They do.
have a me too, girl. Listen, if
Nothing but
anybody,
cakes, just so y'all know.
anybody that loves me knows Sharne loves cupcakes and donuts.
Me
Yes.
too. Her,
And if-
her friend Toni Rochelle too.
Look, and if wait,
Her friend Toni Rochelle loves it too.
and if I have a bad day and someone that really truly cares for me knows that I'm having a bad day, they'll bring me a cupcake or a donut.
And if you drop one off to her, you can drop one
Yeah,
off to me.
look, I'm gonna message her. Hey, I got donuts today.
I'm not choosy. I'm just allergic to nuts. So anything without
But you know, like that's just how I move now because I know what it's like to move to benefit other people.
you know both sides of
I
it.
know both sides, and I know that I can choose my side because I have to deal with me. I have to wake up with the feelings that I have, the emotions that I have. I have to carry
I like
that.
how you said you have to deal with you.
Yes.
I'm gonna remember that this week. I'm gonna write that one down. When you say that, you know, there's a lot of people out here that's hurting.
Yeah.
They don't have that strength that you have, that tenacity that you have. They don't have those tools. They may not even have been through those experiences or had a foundation or anything, but we didn't even really talk about your foundation because that just was already instilled in you from birth.
Right.
So what I want you to do is I want you to tell that person who's hurting, who's about to go through a separation, who's going through a separation, who's already been through that, who's leading up to those steps of trying to separate.
Right.
And that's from marriage. That's from that behavior, that person, that job, whatever it may be, the lying or
Right.
deceiving or whatever that is. What will be your gem to tell them?
Okay, so I have two cameras here. There's one here and there's one over there. And I want to say, if you are madly and crazy in love with yourself and you know that you can do any and everything that you put your mind to, if you know that and you look around and do you feel that you are within that present moment or are you not in that present moment? Keep believing in yourself. You know, like when you gamble, you should be gambling on yourself.
Absolutely.
Because you're making the outcome. You're creating that outcome. Like, put you first, bet on yourself, love yourself, believe in yourself. I know it's hard. I went to therapy. You have to find people that you feel, well, for me, therapy really, really, truly worked. And my therapist did not let me make excuses. And then you also have to find a therapist. You can interview your therapist just to let you know. And if it's not a good fit, it's not a good fit. But my therapist, when I used to wake up and feel depressed, I started my separation once I realized that I wasn't happy and I not checked, but got therapy. And it took me a year to make a decision on what it was that I wanted. And I literally had someone like, if you do this, it's X, Y, and Z. If you do this, X, Y, and like, because it was that hard, because I was so that deep into it that I wasn't able to make a decision. So sometimes you may be, if you're strong-minded, you may be able to do it. If you need help, it's okay to say you need help. Seek professional help because it's not easy. That is something that you're going to have to live with. That's a decision you're going to have to go with. And sometimes we doubt ourselves, but don't doubt yourself. Never doubt yourself. Always stay positive. Always love yourself. Always keep going. And like I said, I feel like therapy helped me. I have friends. I have my sister. I have some really close friends that was with me throughout that process where I didn't tell anybody about my separation for a whole year. Like I just went through it because of something I needed to go through.
Yeah.
So anybody that is in that space where you need to make a decision, I think it's best to sit down and make a plan. Don't be impulsive because if you make a plan, you're going to follow that plan. But if you make an excuse, you're going to follow that excuse too. So you have to know what it is that you want to do and just go in that direction and keep going and seek help and seek your community and friends and people that you trust, because they are going to help you. You know who you can trust. If you're not trusting yourself right now, then I'm sure there's another person that's close to you that you kind of, iron sharpens iron. Everybody has that one person that you could talk to, and they're just going to get you right back in the right mindset. So seek those people and find those type of people and make a community. You know, I had a community that, like, my clients, shout out to all my clients. Like, guys, I just love you guys. It's been years.
Oh, tell the people what you do, because we kind of talked around it, but I don't think they know what
exactly that I do.
Who are you?
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm Sharne. I am your favorite Bay Area lasher. I've done everybody's lashes in the Bay. But it also is like life coach too, because everyone's like, yeah, you do great work. But the conversations that we have in this room and in this chair, what? The lashes are icing on the cake. Okay. Everything else, because I pour into my clients so much because they pour into me too.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like I have a beauty salon in Fremont. I work in Oakland. I work in San Francisco. I'm servicing ladies all over the Bay. I love what I do. I created this business in the same time of my separation because I needed something. I was a stay-at-home mom and I needed something because I was just, the walls were closing in. And I'm like, I need friends. And imagine like going out on your dream and then you're like, oh, they're my friends. And my ex at the time was just like, they're not your friends, they pay you. And I was like, no, they really are my friends. Fast forward, guess who is still around?
My friends,
and pouring into me and encouraging me and helping me really truly go for my dream. Like, all the opportunities that have happened is because the women that I've met literally in the Bay.
Yeah.
Like literally my business is because of all these amazing women want to support me. Everybody does lashes, but it's me.
Exactly.
It's me that people are coming to see.
And I'm glad that you came to see me.
Girl, I'm glad that you had me. And I'm so glad that we really made this happen because, you know, people be saying stuff sometimes and don't follow through. So I was like, every time I want to see her, she makes herself available. Toni, this lady right here is busy. Okay. She's busy. All the time.
I'm just trying to ascend.
She is busy. Okay. And I want to say all my friends are busy. And the fact that you guys take time out of your day to sit and kiki with me sometimes, I love it. Because all we're doing is we're just sharpening each other and preparing each other for our next journeys that we're going on. Like we're helping each other ascend into the right direction in a positive atmosphere. You know what? I feel like that's super important because you could be around people where you're just talking and being messy. But
those days are over for me.
Yeah,
I don't know about everybody else.
You can't be messy because we're grown now, and that comes back.
I'm too tired.
But that comes back to you.
I ain't got enough energy for all of that.
I don't either. I don't have energy to be, you know, all up in people's business and stuff because I'm like, I wake up and it's a battle.
I know. I got some friends that be like, you didn't hear about stuff. You didn't hear about Beyonce. You didn't hear about... I'm like, did you hear about Toni Rochelle? Okay, did you hear about me? What I've been doing? I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I ain't got time to be in nobody else's business.
Girl, I have to say, you are so amazing. Okay. The fact that you are an inspiration though.
Thank you.
You truly are. Like when I see you, I definitely see strength. And I see resilience in you. And I just see like you, I know you're a happy person and you're a beautiful person, but sometimes we can't share certain parts of ourselves with people because it's like, this is pretty real for me. But I will show up as best as I possibly can. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you have been showing up, girl, through everything, all the things. That's why I'm just like, girl, we all have our crosses that we bear and we carry. And it's just, you keep going. Because
I appreciate you saying yes, coming on the show. spitting out all the gems. Okay. We trying to be like you when we grow up. We're trying to get the strength like you too. And just like you said, birds flock together.
Mhm.
And when you can't find that bird, you know, pray for that bird, right? Visualize it, manifest it, like do that.
Yeah.
Because you are a prime example of, they say, in order for a dream to be, you know, serious or that is real, is to write it down, to believe it and write it down. And that's something that you did.
That's the first step.
And so I hope someone heard your story today. And I hope that if somebody is going through that separation, and as we mentioned, separation just doesn't mean from a partner. It can mean from a behavior. It can mean from something that you're addicted to. It can mean that you just want to revamp and start over as yourself. And the beauty of it, the blessing of it, is that the Lord gives us the opportunity to do that at any given moment. Any given moment. I want to redo. I want to start over as Toni. I don't want to be like this. I don't want to portray this behavior. And I heard you say something earlier when you was talking about the depression and the anxiety and things like that. That stuff right there is real, real, real.
Right.
And sometimes you may not recognize that you're in it right in that moment. But even when you do finally recognize it, even when you have done all the damage to yourself and to others, you can still stop. And you do not have to stay stagnant in that situation, in that behavior. Yeah. You can make a decision to say, you know what? I'm tired. Right. I surrender. I no longer want to be that person. I no longer want to move and walk and talk and act like that. The new me is here right now. New, everything new. You get to make that decision.
Yep.
So y'all, if you're feeling alone, if you need that separation from that person, that place, that behavior, that thing, this thing that we call life, give your space, give yourself grace, space, and make the decision to want to heal, to be different, to show up different. And maybe you don't have what Sharne has. Maybe you don't have that sister or that community. If it's something that you're longing for, you never know. It might be that coworker that can help you, that person that you go to Pilates with, that person that you meet at the lake every week. I don't know. But create that space that you want. Create that mind frame that you have the desire to be. And if you just don't know what else to do, y'all keep watching this platform. Tune in to Believe Radio, Ascending with Toni Rochelle, and listen to these life stories, these true life stories, because you are not alone. We all out here are trying to figure it out. And our time is out. Unfortunately, an hour goes by so fast.
She needs to have me back. Let's do something else again.
We will.
This was so fun. Thank you so much. Oh, before you go, I got you a gift, girl. That's for you.
It ain't even my birthday.
There you go. Yes.
Until then, community, I want to thank my guests. I want to thank Believe Radio. I want to thank you all for tuning in each and every time. Tell somebody to watch this platform.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. And if you have a story and you want to sit down and talk to me about your ascension, I'm ready for you. Until then, peace, love, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.
Mother's Day.
Until then, peace. Keep ascending.
Keep ascending. This was ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you're gonna keep ascending. Her pain's my pain. Her struggle's my struggle.